Hey Christian, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm not getting anything. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
I got nothing from it. Uh,
Let me see
oh,
here.
we're good. That was my fault.
Oh, it was your fault. Okay.
Well, no, I mean not that we're already recording. So no, that was so definitely a technical error on your end. Could definitely not be me. So, buddy,
How are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there, dude. It was a day, but got through it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I hope it was a
Um.
good day.
Yeah. You know.
I-
Anyways,
I'm watching the baseball game right over here too. So while I'm talking to you, I'm kind of
well,
like glancing over at the TV.
I'm glad that we have your full attention. That's great. What are you doing with that other hand under the desk, dude? Okay, all right. That was quick. Good for you. Um, so yeah, I'll make the smoothest transition into history right there. I just wanted to say, I know it's kind of has nothing to do with Scott for today's episode, but I just wanted to offer my condolences and respect to Clem Burke of Bondi's family and friends and bandmates and stuff. It was a huge loss and greatly influential. So yeah, I just want to put that out into the universe that lost a good one, and thank you, Clem, for everything. And with that, we'll move on to Scott. Um,
Yeah, episode
yeah,
3 of the Punk Rock Drummers podcast with Scott Mangino. Scott's a
yeah,
cool
dude,
kid, man.
yeah. The energy of this whole thing was great. It was really cool just watching someone be like just seeing that excitement in someone's eyes again about the music and just more drumming in general. Yeah, it was sick, dude. Looking forward
Yeah,
to
he
it.
he's he's at that age where it's all about the drumming and there's no burnout, there's no nothing. It's all about the drumming. It's all about getting better and improving and man, you see it every time he posts a video. He just gets better and better. He's so fast and smooth.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really fun to watch him.
yeah, I think it's cool watching him work on developing technique when at that age I was concerned about just as fast and aggressive as was humanly possible and um, not really understanding like he did that you can do both of those things.
Yeah, I was so concerned about
Play
hitting
fast and
hard.
aggressive, but still, yep,
Yeah, I was hitting hard. I
yeah,
thought, the harder and hitting hard is good if you're playing punk rock, but being efficient is also good, and hitting hard can really wear you out. So he's doing it
yeah.
right, and it's really
Great
cool to
stage
see
presence
his
too.
progress. Yeah,
The
very much
live
so.
videos are great. It's got good stage presence, which is fun. They are going to leave mid May through June um, for a little U.S. tour. So you
Who's
can hit
they?
up their website. Uh, his band, Chemical X. I should have maybe let in with that, dude. I'm
You're
exhausted. I'm so
welcome.
sorry. I feel like I'm doing a disservice tonight here, but yeah. So Chemical X from New Jersey. They'll be going mid May to mid June on a U.S. tour, so you can hit up their website for the dates. And their LP Days is out. You can stream it everywhere, or you can buy an actual compact disc from Fameless Records. That's Famous with a P. Well, maybe we can put some links in the description.
A compact disc. What is that?
A compact disc. So it's a big disc that they compacted into a smaller disc.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Hence
Yeah.
the word compact.
It's funny that we're old enough to have forgotten what CDs are. Not
Yeah,
really, but you know what I mean.
yeah. I think I had maybe some like an uncle with some like remnants of eight tracks when I was a kid. And it is crazy to go from like eight tracks, records, eight tracks, tapes, CD, and then to see everything circle back around. So, Chemical X, where's that fucking eight track? Gotta pop that shit in my Camaro, buddy. Let's go.
Well, I guess it's time to talk about our sponsor.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I came prepared today. I've got my mug. I've
Well,
got
you know
my
what?
Rhythm and Roast Coffee Company mug right here, and I've got my bag of coffee to show off for anyone watching on YouTube. Yeah, yeah, I'm prepared this time.
All right, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna put the little pitch on you. Where's your come on. Rhythm and roast coffee. It's
It goes in your mouth.
fair enough. The sponsorship's gonna be done soon.
Yeah.
I feel it. But
Oh, hey, and we're not sponsored by them, but I want to give a shout out to Sleeved Washers. I'm going to put a little image up here. Sleeved Washers.
we're not
Um,
not sponsored yet.
yeah,
Rhino.
yeah. Our good friend Rhino makes these at Hendrix Drums makes these, I guess. But Rhino is the one who has been distributing them.
Dude, I
And
fully back these things like
yeah,
100%, man.
yeah.
They have changed. I haven't tuned my snare drums once since I put them on. I play probably an hour every day and hit moderately hard. But yeah, dude, I love these things. I feel like they just tighten up the sound. And you know me, man, I tend to focus in on like those little subtle nuances, but there's just something about the drums to me. They sound better. I think it's eliminating that metal on metal contact. But again, splitting hairs here
Yeah.
as far as audible differences, but man, they feel great and stay in tune really well. So I would check them out.
Sleevedwashers.com. Sleevedwashers.com.
Sleeved.
Yeah, and what's Rhythm and Roast Coffee's website? Rhythmandroastcoffee.com.
I believe it's Rhythm Roast.
Oh, Rhythm Roast.
You were supposed to know this stuff, man. I thought you were prepared.
Hey, I was prepared, but I
Oh,
forgot
man.
about that.
Yes. Just you'll just have to watch the last episodes to find out.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Scott Mangino,
Yes, buddy.
drummer of Chemical X.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's do it.
Hey,
On.
Good morning, everybody.
like there he
Good
is.
morning. How
Hi.
how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm just still waking up a little bit, but I have my drink to wake me up over here, my Powerade.
There
There
you
you go.
go. What time zone are you in?
Oh, I'm in Jersey, so it's like I'm 9:55 over here. What?
Oh,
He's my neighbor.
that's
Yeah.
right. See, I'm an hour. I'm Central Time, so I'm just waking up.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't want to
I'm just
complain.
kidding.
I am not complaining.
Well,
You
now that
know,
we're
I'd rather do these in the morning anyway.
Yeah, I
well,
think it's better in the morning.
so I'm Christian. That's Matt. In case you haven't picked up on the voices, I
Yeah,
know
I see your names. Hi, Christian.
Oh,
Hi,
geez,
Matt.
I'm horrible with technology.
Yeah, it says it right there.
Well, dude, I'm old. I got
Yeah, I'm older than you.
okay. Now I see it. Now I see it. So yeah, man. Well, I guess we figured we'd just kind of talk a little bit about some drums.
Yeah, totally.
Talk about yourself. Like we don't know much about you except for what's on Instagram or what you've posted
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
drummers group, and I think that's a really cool thing. Kind of mysterious. Want to get to know you and want to get to know what you play and your influences and all that stuff. I've
Yeah,
got
So
some
totally.
notes.
so we'll start with like what age did you start playing and why?
Well, I probably started playing around like 10 or 11 years ago at this point. Like seriously, because my dad his name is also Scott. I'm Scott too. He grew up in the 70s with bands like Kiss and the Ramones, and he turned me and my brother, who's also the guitar player in my band. He turned us on to this type of music at a very young age, and like ever since I saw like bands like Kiss and the Ramones, I knew like I wanted to be a drummer. I wanted to be a musician. Like that's what I wanted to do, and like all those years ago, picking up an instrument and trying to learn as a kid, it was really hard, but like I just I wanted to do that with my life, and like I stuck to it, and so did my brother, and here we are like 10, 11 years later, and I'm still playing, and I don't know, I think I've gotten a bit better since that
I'd say
point.
so. I'd say so. What's the age gap between you and your brother?
But it's only like 2 years. Like he's 24, so he's 2 years older than me.
Nice.
So it's not like too crazy of a gap or anything. I think it's just right for us to be able to, be like this, and like he's my brother, but he's also like my partner. Like we've been playing in bands for forever at this point together. Well, not
Yeah.
forever, but
My brother he's only 18 months older than me, but we grew up that same thing where we can just be like locked in. He'll make the same head gesture, and I'll know if that means speed up or slow down. You develop
hmm
like this like. Have you been in a band without him?
never, dude, never.
That's funny, man.
What a
Uh,
time though to live through, and with all the technology and when Christian and I were playing drums and getting good, and in our
well,
early
I
20s.
I don't know about getting good
There
part,
was
but
no Facebook or anything to show what we're doing, to show our projects to the world or anything like that. That's pretty cool. I mean, you seem like you're doing a really good job with that, especially Instagram. You've got um 15,000, almost 16,000 followers, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm almost there. Yeah, I'm just trying to post every day, and I mean, I don't record every day, like obviously I work, so like when I'm not working, like I'll aside a day to get up in the morning and eat breakfast and set up my tripod and record for 3 hours and get a bunch of usable stuff, and then I'll sit down on my computer and work on my tours and whatnot for the band. It's like a never ending cycle, and like it's constantly on my mind. But I don't know, it's cool, it's the life that I want to live and the life that I chose. And I think if we keep at it, it anything could happen, So
is
Yeah,
it
big possibilities could open up for you.
yeah, that's why I got my fingers crossed. Like a possibility like this, being able to meet you guys, like this wouldn't have been able to happen without, just like doing that sort of stuff and keeping at it online and stuff. So I'm really grateful for that, like and being able to meet all these new people through social media, like how you guys said, like, you know, you guys didn't really have something like that, and like I don't know, like I definitely think I'm
you can say it
I'm lucky.
in the 1900s. Go ahead, say it. It's fine.
Well, let's say like the mid '90s, right?
So I gotta ask, man, who were some like really early influences?
Oh man, definitely Peter Chris. Like I said, Kiss. I mean, obviously, like, I'm like a hardcore punk drummer, and that's like classic rock. So the style. There's a bit of a stylistic difference, but just the way he would be behind the drum set, doing like all these crazy moves, and just that's literally what I try to do, like when we play live, I try to have like moves that I do in each one of our songs when we play them, just like how Peter did it. They were the hottest band in the world, like
That's
so
awesome.
that's why I don't know. I also love like drummers like Tommy Ramone, Mikey Ramone, Lucky Lair, like DH Peligro, like who else I'm definitely like Robo too, I'm definitely leaving out so many great drummers, but just I feel like that style of like classic early 80s hardcore punk drumming has been lost, and like I'm trying to bring that back with my band, and I don't know, like
That's a really good point, man. You don't really hear or see a ton of that happening right now. That's awesome, man.
I mean it's definitely out there, like I'm not gonna say it's not out there because obviously there's so many great bands out there that are, you know, playing out and that I probably aren't even aware of, but I don't know. Like it's just I love classic hardcore punk. Like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll put on like Descendants or like whatever I'm feeling that day, and it'll get me pumped to go throughout the day. I don't know. It's the greatest kind of stuff in my opinion, at least. I don't.
That's a really cool way to look at it. It's a good attitude. And it's funny, I've been watching you, and you and I both have a mutual friend, Bill Stevenson, and he loves robos, and he does that ch on the hi-hats.
The groups of three. That's what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah. And I
I,
got a chance to go to Bill's house last year, and he was showing me all that. And he was
oh
he was
Matt, you are
like
so
he was
lucky.
doing the hi-hat that, yeah. and
Yep.
he has a picture of Robo like right behind his drum kit, down
Dude,
in
he
his
actually showed
studio.
me that. Well, I
Yeah.
don't want to say that I'm friends with Bill because like I would want to say that, but like I feel like maybe like I'm like an annoying like fan dude or whatever to
See,
him.
that's
But
how
like
I feel too. I've spent my
um
life trying to play like him, and then I see you doing the same, and when I watch you, like the finger style you do, that's kind of like a Marky Ramone thing.
that is from Marky. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the choppy hi-hats, Robo Bill kind of thing. I see the influences there, and you're very robotic when you play. It's very precise
Well, when
and
you're
and,
playing
and
like
good.
fast, extreme, hardcore punk drums, you got to make sure to, save your energy for where it counts. I mean, of course, that sort of style, it's like a wall of sound. It's always 100%. There are no
Hmm.
breaks in that style of drumming, and you know it.
Yep.
But yeah, there's certain things that I take from my influences, that I watch a lot of them, a lot of live videos and stuff, and I just want to try to be like, like some of the best, hardcore drummers. That's all,
Hey,
What I
you're
think
you're on the road.
what I think is awesome about what you're doing too now is there's tons, and not to take away from these bands, but I think that a lot of the focus got put on like the technical punk from like the 90s, right? Like Lagwagon and stuff like that, no effects, where the drummers are very, very technical.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize how tech a lot of that 80s stuff was, mostly because there's not a lot of videos of it. So
Yeah,
even
and
my
that's
even
what sucks
myself,
about it.
like watching some of the stuff you played, I can't believe it's escaping my mind. Oh, it's gonna bother me now, but one of the other bands, I can see the font. It's killing me. But
If you remember, just let me know.
like even I didn't realize how technical it was until I saw you playing the covers, and I was like, there's a lot more going on. I think how just aggressive it was. I think people were focused more on like the anger of the lyrics and stuff like that, but not how good the drum parts were.
Yeah, and things get lost too because you see a lot of drummers like doing drum covers, but like, and God bless all their souls, but like, like they won't play the song right. Like I mean, you can cover a song like no problem. Like I mean, I could cover any song I want to on my page, but like if I'm gonna cover a song, I make sure that I learn every detail of that song down to the fill. Like I just did Spineless and Scarlet Red off of Hypercaphium Spasm the other day.
I
Like
saw
that
that.
took me a while to get like, and it's still not even 100% accurate. I will even admit that to you guys, but I mean, it just, like it just matter. It's just a matter of which drummer is covering a song, and whether they do it. I don't want to say right or wrong, but I mean that's it at the end of the day, and like, that's where I feel like a lot of the how you were saying like how some people might think that that's the '80s stuff isn't that technical, but it really is. Like,
Zero Boys. It was Zero
Zero
Boys.
Boys,
That's who it was. I
yes,
can't believe that was. I
they're
got it.
the
Okay.
best. They're the best.
But yeah, man. How about first kit? What was your first kit?
Oh man, my first kit is actually the kit that you guys see in my videos. It's just a black Slingerland kit from like the late '60s, I think. Um and it's really nice. It's very big shells, very
Was
big
it
shells.
passed down?
Well, what happened was, if I remember correctly, because this was probably like 10, 11, 12 years ago, my dad had a friend. I'm not sure if they're still friends anymore, but that's besides the point. He was just given, the drum set from one of his friends, and you know, he asked my father if he wanted it, and like, I mean, at this point, me and my brother were just kind of getting into music, if not even at all. I actually do recall that drum set would it was just sitting in our playroom for like a year or two before I even sat behind it. And like how it really happened was, and I will keep this very brief. So my brother started getting into like the music that my dad had showed us, like Kiss and Ramones, and he's like 2 years older than me, like I said. So he started on drums, but then he moved to playing bass. And at this point, I was like 12 years old, and I was really into like Xbox and COD and all that stuff. And I would play every single day, guys. I was a complete loser. But I saw my brother playing, and I was like, you know what? Like, maybe I can learn a skill instead of, sitting and gaming all day. Maybe I can learn a skill. Maybe this is something that it's doable and graspable for me. And I mean, I started playing along to bands like Kiss, that's super basic, like 4/4 rock and roll, and it just helped me ease into that sort of more, different genres as time went on. That's all I could say, really, I
Yeah, I think
guess.
a lot of us do that. I mean, you start slow and then you start kind of throwing in something, you learn something new, and then you get a little quicker and a little
Hmm.
more comfortable over time, and your brain has to remember all these things, and it makes new connections, and next thing you know, you're playing a crazy complicated song
Hmm. Yes,
at
sir.
21 years old or whatever it is, and all us 40 something year olds are like, man, I never
Yeah.
learned that. Yeah, so I'm guilty of you're talking about covering the song properly. I'm very guilty of that. I mean, I'm in a Descendants all cover band, and so some people don't like that I do that. They're like, why don't you put your own spin on it? And
But I
it's
like
like
it. I like it.
I can't do. It's so hard to do. It's like I've listened to the song a million times. That's just the way it is.
I mean, the drum parts are great. Like, they're
Yeah,
great.
why change them?
Yeah, like exactly.
Or when
Well,
a
I think
band
that's gonna.
covers and they put a breakdown in the middle of a Descendants song or something.
No, we're not
Like
about that. We're not
I
about
I
that.
saw that years ago and I just left.
Well, dude, I mean, that's the thing is like you can't please everyone. I mean, I think that's a big thing of like you look at like old movies, right? Like you do a remake of it and you just, you film it and just shoot it shot for shot. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's lazy. You didn't even bother to try." And then you change it too much and everyone hates you because you changed it too much. So I feel
So you
like
got to
it's
keep the integrity of
yeah,
the classic work.
yeah. It's
Yes.
hard, man. It's not easy.
I like
Um
when people cover it note for note because it helps me learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead,
so
Christian. I'm sorry.
no, you're good, man. I was just gonna ask, what was the first cover that you posted, and like then around like when did you start noticing the followers kind of spiking up on Instagram?
Um, so I started posting daily about all it's almost been a year. I remember actually the exact date. It was March 9th, 2024, which is when I started posting daily. And I didn't initially begin with covers. I just, you know, I would just, put a tripod up on, when I had Chemical X shows, and I would just upload footage from there. But it wasn't till a little bit, later after I started the page where I figured, I know so many songs from having played them so many times over the years, and it's just like, you don't see too many drummers, at least from what I see, like doing that, like classic hardcore stuff, and like I figured like maybe I could be that guy, like
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the first? Do you remember what the first song was that you put like the first
oh
actual cover
man,
though? Or
I don't exactly remember.
all right, we'll give you 5 minutes. Just go back, scroll.
There's too many videos to go through now.
Yeah. I,
Like
I, I
when
was I was scrolling through your videos and enjoying them, and then I got turned on to your band, Chemical X, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's give them a shout out.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that. I saw you were touring with them, right? Or last year, I
Yeah.
guess you were touring.
We the recently we just did like a 8 9 date tour of the Midwest back in November. But right now we are currently booking a US tour going all the way out to the West Coast and back. I'm actually I'm looking at it like as we speak. Like I have the tour sheet
Oh, there you
open right.
go,
But
man.
yeah, we're gonna be out for a month long. And there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but I mean it's the logical next step for the band. Like we have fans out, all over the country from Instagram who have found us through there. And I mean, we literally just got the test pressings of our debut album yesterday.
Wow.
Like this is it. And I don't want to, blow smoke or toot my own horn because it's my band, but I mean, I'm excited for you guys to be able to hear this because this is all killer, no filler record,
Yeah.
baby.
well,
I'm
that's what's
just
cool
gonna
though, man.
say
Is
it.
like you seem to have like
really amazing work ethic for your age. So I don't think there's no tooting your horn, dude. You're proud of the hard work that you've put into it, and I think it's completely valid, man. You deserve it. Like,
Thank
uh,
you, Christian.
I mean, the I'm imagining. I mean, I've seen some little what do you want to call it? Edits of you like screaming and punching your floor tom. Like it's not easy to do that stuff, and it's not just recording it, it's editing it, it's making sure everything's tight and everything lines up. So even outside of the band, man, you're putting a ton of work into it. So good, you deserve it. You coming to upstate New York?
Where I'm not sure if
No one
well, the
does.
only
It's all right.
okay, because this tour that we're gonna be going on, the one that I showed you guys, like these are pretty much all spots that we've never hit before. We've done two East Coast tours up and down the coast, and then we went to to the Midwest for a couple of dates, like in November, like I said. But we gotta get out. We gotta get out there. Like it's just the fact of the matter. It's the next step for the band, and like I want to be able to keep touring. I would tour. I would go to New York like tomorrow if I could, and I had a show, But it's just a matter of planning things out, and just it gets complicated. It gets
Oh,
it
for
gets a
sure.
lot. Uh,
I
you
noticed
know.
one of your show dates was Youngstown, Ohio at Westside Bowl. I've played
hmm
there twice, and I'm playing there again this year. And that's one of my favorite venues. What do you think about Westside Bowl?
Oh, it was great. I mean, they gave us free pizza.
Oh, that pizza's
We
so
did,
good.
yes, we did a little bit of bowling as well. I mean, the show itself, there was like 10 people there, but like, I mean, we had never been to Ohio before. We have to eat. We got. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't, as long as we played a show there, I could care less if we played to five people. It's just
yeah.
about getting out there and getting the name out there and giving every one of those five people in the audience one of the best performances they ever seen.
I love it.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Good for
Yeah,
you.
that's the work ethic of a successful musician right there. All these successful bands, especially like when you talk about Green Day, they're like we would play in a bathroom or we would play on a roof or whatever. Talk about Bill. I mean, Bill's work ethic. I mean, that's rubbing off on you, for
I mean,
sure.
he's the best to have ever done it, one of the best, and like I just want to be like him. I mean, everybody wants to be like him. I mean, the longevity of this guy, like no other hardcore punk drummer, in my opinion at least, like he was able to just like do what he did the best at such a high level for such a long period of time. Like when I'm 60 years old, that's what I still want to be playing. I still want to be rocking just like he is, man.
Yeah,
Like they're the best. They're the best.
I love it.
Yeah, Bill's an interesting one too because I saw him a couple years ago in Vermont, and it was just like how easy it looked. Like for how fast he was playing and how like just there's not a ton of movement happening. You know what I mean? Like the kit's very in front
hmm
of him. You don't really see him going, crazy with his arms
Everything's
up over his
angled
head.
in a way that
Yep.
like makes it so easy for him to just like move just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he's got the two crashes on his left side, the two crashes on his right, then he's got the ride right there. The snare drum is all high up and it's angled in a way that makes his machine gun snare roll so easy. And then his rack tom's huge and it's right there. And it's just art. It's art.
Well, what's cool though too, man, is I can tell that that your playing style has been influenced by him, and maybe like the cymbal setup, but like you're still doing your own thing. I don't want to name a certain drummer, Travis Barker, who like those
Uh-oh.
those ergonomics were no, and
I'm just
it's
kidding.
nothing against him, but like the you see like the ergonomics of like cymbals being up high, the floor tom be or the rack tom like flat, like I could never play like that. And I think in a lot of kids, instead of trying to hone in on what he's playing and play it the proper way and play it on their setup, they're also trying to play his exact setup, which again, it clearly is working for him. He's been doing it for how long? But again, man, I think that the fact that you're taking your influences from Bill, but you're not just trying to play his exact setup, tilted the way you're playing it, the way it works for you, which I think is a great way to pull influences from people. Does that
Yeah,
make any sense?
totally. No, it does, man. I mean, it's I mean, it's just about what works for you as a musician, as a drummer. You know, like I mean, at the end of the day, like I mean, of course, I want to be like, you know, like a hero of mine and play like him. But I mean, I'm also my own person.
Yep.
I want to be, I want to be like Scott Mangino, the drummer, not like
Yep.
that dude that plays just like Bill Stevenson. Like you know, like
Yeah. I
What's
mean,
funny
we
is
take our influences and we kind of create our own style from all of our influences. And it's funny story. Last year, I got to play Bill's drum kit on a song, and that was one of the hardest drum kits I've ever had to play.
you're so
Um,
lucky.
there's a show every year called Groveridge that happens in Fort Collins, and I was invited to play Mr. Bass, and
Oh, that's so cool,
it was
man.
me, Jason Risky, Carl, and then was playing the show, but then I got to switch with him and sit down at his kit and play Mr. Bass with Carl,
Oh, that's
and
so.
I was like, God, man, the way everything is angled, and I helped him set his drum kit up, and it took us like 2 hours. So he's very precise on what goes where, how this is angled, and it's so cool, and it's
That is
just
very cool,
it was
man.
such a cool experience.
I
But
mean, he's
man,
the
playing those drums
master.
was tough. I'll have to send you the video.
Please do.
I
Please do.
will.
I would love that.
I will. I just thought it was a funny little story
that's
that
awesome.
relevant.
So,
Go ahead,
dude,
Christian.
were you in other bands before Chemical X, or was this the first one that really started to like gain some steam?
I was in a band called we were called Sick, and then we changed our name to Inform Against. That was like kind of like my high school band. And I mean it was cool, you know. But it was just like a learning experience, you know. Like I was still with my bro. It was just me and my brother, and then just one more guy on bass. So we were just a three piece. But we kind of, you know, once COVID happened, you know, we kind of just drifted apart from the bass player. You know, he started to get into different stuff, and you know, I don't know. It was just it wasn't meant to last. You know, and I'm happy that that band kind of fizzled out because you know that's how Chemical X started. And excuse me, I mean, this is like the first band really that I've. I mean, this is like my first real band, I would say. I guess you could say that because I'm just, you know, this was, you know, the band that I was in when I really like started to try to take things seriously and like practice every day and try to be like, I don't know, the best I could be behind the drum set, you know.
So have you known all the other guys in the band for a while, or were they just people that you met through other like going to shows and stuff? Or
Yeah, I mean, like my bandmates are like my best friends. Like, I mean, you guys know, like my guitarist, my brother, my singer, his name's Adam. He was he was like a friend of ours since the Sick and Inform Against days, and he always wanted to play with me and my brother. But you know, like we were in a band, and he knew that, and he just knew if he stuck around long enough, like I don't know, maybe he would be able to play with us, and he did, you know. And then my bass player, his name is JC, and he, you know, he's like 2 years younger than me. So I knew him in high school. He was when I was a senior, he was a sophomore, and we were having like auditions for a bass player, because we, you know, that was the final piece we needed, and we were looking for somebody that, you know, could fly up and down the neck like Carl Alvarez or something, and you know that he's great, you know, and like you know he's we're brothers, you know, like and that's why I love my band's dynamic because like I mean people always say, you know, bands are meant to break up and this and that, you know, bands break up, that's the final, you know, it's what happens. But I mean these guys are like my brothers, man. You know, and like of course we're gonna fight, you know, and we're gonna do this and that, you know, and we're gonna get mad at each other when we're smelling each other's farts inside the van, and you know. But I mean it's just like we're brothers, we're family, man, and we all know what we want to come out from this band, and we're gonna try everything in our power to achieve that, you know.
yeah, well,
It
the fights are definitely easier. Like the longest band is funny is longest band I was ever in was kind of on and off for 10 years, but I was actually the vocalist. My brother played bass. Our childhood best friend with me. I mean, I've known this dude for 40 years now.
What was
So
the name of the band?
dead stuff.
I like it.
there was a lot of very serious hardcore music going on, so we were kind of the ones that were like poking at everyone and trying to make things a little bit fun. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the drummer we had known forever, the guitar player we had known from like Little League, and it definitely makes the fights easier because you can argue about some band stuff and then just go right back to being like, that's the band stuff. This is our friendship or our brotherhood. So I think, yeah, sometimes when you don't know a lot of people, like you have people in the band you haven't known very long, you're getting to know them while you're playing with them, and then sometimes
Yeah,
you're like,
that's
oh,
tough. That's how things go south. Like, like I could not imagine, like I mean, this is just me because my experience with playing music, I've always known the people that I play with, but like just it's hard. It's I'm sure if you're in a band with three other people, you don't really know, like you're getting to know them while you're playing, like you said, like it could be I don't know. I mean, I've never experienced it, so
I've been in a band with my two cousins for the last 30 years, and whether it's us playing together, which we always had trouble writing songs together as a band. So it was me and my two cousins, but we always did better when we were in other bands. So my cousin Tanner was a bass player, and he and I are in a band called 41 Gorgeous Blocks. And then my cousin Brad and I are in a band called Fire Sale. And like we both play in these different bands, but it just tends to work out better. But it's been so cool having family in the band, and it just I don't know. There's something special about it. It's hard to explain.
there is something special, and we all have that sort of thing. That's so crazy to me. Like we
Yeah,
all have played with like family. That's awesome.
I know. I mean, they're my brothers, you know? Like I grew up so close with them and we all went through all the same stuff together and started the band at the same time. You know, this was back in 94, but like we still play together in one form or another, and it's just the coolest thing, I think.
That is very cool. I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Christian?
yes. Oh, I was just gonna ask, man. What's your how's the writing process work for you? And I also wanted to talk about like the outro of the Rotten, your song Rotten. Um, were those like very deliberately placed hi-hat accents in some of the fills towards the end of the song, or are we just kind of doing whatever came to you? Do you plan that stuff out? Like walk us through the writing process a little.
Oh well, that ending on Rotten, it was all like planned out. We had those five songs like for that EP that we put out with Rotten. We had those songs for a little bit, and we were trying to tweak them. But I mean, it's crazy because I'm thinking back to that now, and that was almost like 2 years ago already. We did that in Steve Zing's basement. Steve Zing mixed and mastered that record beautifully. He's awesome for that. But the writing process it differs, for like songs like like sometimes, like I'll come into a session with like some lyrics or like a riff, and maybe I'll have like the whole song. Or maybe I'll just have a part, and then I'll ask, the other guys like, "Hey, help me come up with something to, make this sound cool," and sometimes they'll come in with songs. I mean, what I will say, I've always been pretty good at like writing lyrics and fitting the right amount of syllables in a line, and being able to make things rhyme, and especially on this new record we got coming out. There's a bunch of cool stuff I think you guys will like. There's heavy stuff, there's fast punky stuff, but then there's also like melodic stuff, like a track like what's a great melodic Descendants song? Like
What's not one?
oh well, they're all great. But I'm trying to think. What is the one song? Uh, a Clean Sheets. That's what I'm
Hmm.
thinking of. Yeah. We have a song called "Think of You" on this record, and it's very like inspired by like a Descendants love song. We also have a song called "Mawkish" that's out. I don't. You guys. I don't know if maybe you didn't hear that one.
I'm still getting
That's
familiar
yeah.
with your band, so
I
I'm
would
gonna be
definitely
going back and
say.
listening to more after we talk for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and it's no pressure, but we got I would say we got a bunch of cool stuff, but this is definitely our best stuff. This is our best stuff to date, and I'm very confident when I say that. We worked really hard on these 12 songs, and like I think you guys are gonna dig it. Really,
Oh,
I
for
Yeah,
mean,
man.
sure.
we
I
have
like what I
seven
hear so
days left.
far.
Yes, yes. 7 days left.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so who, so what's the dynamic with the band as far as being a drummer and a new song comes about? Is there, do you have free reign, or is it whoever wrote the song, do they typically have kind of like a drum like blueprint
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
they say,
Mhm.
this is what I want you to do, but make it better kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I usually have free reign
Okay.
because they know that like they know that I'm capable of writing cool parts. I mean, of course, like if there is a riff that you know builds off of like a specific drum part, like of course, like I'm gonna have to keep things I if I have to stick to a pattern like for the riff's sake in the song, I will, but usually it's free reign. Usually I just try to come up with just parts that sound the most interesting to listen to, like going back to like a drummer like Bill, every single song, like the drum parts are just so extremely interesting to listen to, and maybe that's just because I'm a drummer. That probably is why.
Well, I think a
Um,
It's
lot of it
true
too
though.
is like the ability to play busy but not have it sound too busy. I think Bill was always really good at that. And then like those early years of like Derek Plord and Lagwagon, like the music was busy, so the drums being busy worked with it.
yeah.
When you do have like very simple, like sort of pop punk music and the drummer is just going crazy, there's kind of like, all right, dude, like
You got
play
to
what?
serve the song.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's what I noticed about you, and what I really appreciate about you is the one of the things I noticed while doing some research on you is you play to the song, and you can do crazy things, but what typically happens when you have a young drummer, they want to do all the things, and it makes the song muddy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It doesn't it doesn't work, because you want to show off everything. But I mean, you seem to stick with what the bass is doing, what the guitar is doing, maybe vocal melody or something like that. And I really appreciate that. I think that's kind of rare, honestly, for someone so young. We all did. I mean, it was something I was guilty of, but I learned very quickly not to do that. But you see it a lot, and I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate that.
I mean, like you said, like it's something that you learn. Like it's just like, of course, like when we play live shows, like I want to be like doing all this crazy stuff, to try to give people like a great show, like because I mean, you see a lot of drummers, like that just sit back there and play and like I mean, of course they're there, but like nobody's really like paying too much attention to them.
That's
Not that
why
the
we're
whole
doing this
band's about the drummer.
podcast. That's why we
Yeah.
started this. No one pays attention to us.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So that's why I tried to like I was saying before, like during some like all of our songs, if you guys ever catch us live one day, there's certain things that I'll do in each song, that I will even admit sometimes I'll screw myself up, because I'm trying to do a cool thing, but I mean I don't know. In my opinion, I think that just like I just want people to remember the band. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like people seeing the band and then saying like, "Damn, that was a good band. I got to tell my friends about this band." And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you guys come through? Are you coming through Texas? I'm near Dallas. I
Oh,
for sure
we
want to
got a
see you.
show booked in Dallas as we speak. Where is it right now? We are Dallas 524 Saturday at what is it? Three Links is the
Three
place.
Links. Yeah, that's where all the
Yep.
punk bands come to
I'll
play.
be there.
Yeah, that's I go there all the time. What you said May? May what?
Saturday, May 24th. I'll be there.
Saturday, May 24th. All right. Yeah, I go to Three Links all the time.
It's good. It's good. Hopefully,
It's a very cool club. That's where like all the punk bands play.
oh
The Queers
yeah.
play there. Teenage Bottle Rocket always plays there. And it's got like this upstairs green room area, and it's actually open. So it's like a long club, and it's open, and people can like listen from the outside too.
Oh, that's
So
so awesome. I'm
re
so excited.
it's a really neat club. Kind of a scary part of Dallas, but it's okay. I mean, I've never had any trouble out there.
Matt will protect you. He'll be your
I,
bodyguard.
yeah,
I'm
I'm a big
banking on
guy.
that.
I
Thank you.
will. I'll be your bouncer. But yeah,
But
I'll definitely come out and see you guys play. Of
thank you, Matt. That's awesome.
course.
We
Yeah.
will be there. We will be there, and we will rock the place. Just mark my words, man.
I believe you, man.
And if for some reason you ever want to come to a tiny town in upstate New York, let me know. My friend's got a
Oh,
skate. My
Tiny
friend's got
towns are the
a
best.
he's got a skate shop slash venue like right in our hometown.
Christian, thank you, man.
So
Thank
there's
you.
literally there's a giant wooden bowl people can skate in while you guys play. It would be cool, but
That's where it's at. That is
it's
where it's at.
it's far, dude. So I wanted to ask, man. I don't know if we're Matt. I'm not interrupting. Were
Oh
you?
no, no,
No.
go.
Jersey, man. Growing up, have you lived there your whole life?
Mhm.
Okay. What did you ever like? I mean, because you guys, a lot of bands, you got Lifetime and like Bouncing Souls and stuff like that. Did you ever go see any of those bands when you were coming up, or you stay more with like your local, like more your age kind of?
Honestly, man, I would say that I stayed like more local. You know, like I mean, I've been playing in bands for a long like a long time at this point, you know. So I'm always like at a show, you know, like and of course, you know, like I've gone to see, you know, my fair share of like actual shows. Like you know, I went to go see the Descendants and Circle Jerks in Adolescence twice, and I will be
Nice.
going back to see them. But I don't know, like I'm not really too big of just a concert goer, you know, like, and it's weird because I love music, you know, it's my thing, but I don't know. I think I get my fill like at all the shows that I'm usually at, and then I play. You know,
There's
I'm
nothing
with
wrong
you.
with that,
I'm
man.
with you. I got burnt out on going to see bands play just
plus it
because
saves
I've
our
been playing for
pockets.
so long and
Yeah, man.
so many shows. So it's a special thing if I go out to a show.
I think for me that I go to that Stoked for Summer every year that the Bouncing Souls put on. But it's just hard, man. I run two businesses. I have three kids. So for me, like just having that one show to go to every year. Like last year, it was Vandals and Dead Milkmen
Yeah.
and Bouncing Souls. So it's like in the year before that, I can't remember exactly, but it was like 7 Seconds and like
Oof.
Sick of It All. So I definitely got to see some killers. And the Vandals this year, they had Derek Grant, formerly of Alkaline Trio. And I don't know if you're familiar with Derek Grant's drumming, but the dude is a fucking monster. So it was
I
like
have to check it out.
it was another one of those like me sitting side stage and just staring at the drummers. Like,
Yeah.
so I think for me, like those, they do it outdoor at the Stone Pony every year, so it's like kind of like a smaller little festival. But you know, I do try to get like it's nice because the skate shop is less than a mile from my house, so like I'll order pizza for dinner and I'll go watch a couple bands play and I'll go pick up the pizza and come back and eat with my family and then go back
Yeah,
to
it's
the
a great
show.
night. That's a beautiful
It's
night right
cool.
there.
So awesome, man. What about well, I was gonna ask about new music, but you already told us. It's right
Yeah.
there.
You
Yeah,
said
it's
it's
right
coming out
here.
in 7 days?
The 22nd of this month. So
Okay.
this coming Saturday coming up.
Nice. And what were you holding there? Was that a CD or was that a 7 inch?
Oh, the okay. So this is a CD.
Okay.
Um, and we're getting tapes too. We
Nice.
have. Let me pull this thing on. Actually, wait. I'm gonna run and show you my test press.
Yes,
Um,
dude.
because
That's
I have it in
exciting.
my room. This is the test press that we received. There's no like cover or nothing, you know.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
But it sounded great. It sounded so great, and you know, I was just so happy about it because I don't know, like having music on vinyl, like my band was something that I always wanted, you know. And we did like a compilation record that we put out on vinyl and CD and tape before this one coming out, you know, just of all of the music that we put out up to a certain point, you know. So we have had physical stuff, but I mean, this is the first thing that we ever wrote and recorded, you know, with intention to put it out, you know, on physical as a complete package, as a complete record and album.
Right.
You know, like, and it's just it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I don't know. You guys could probably tell I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
There's nothing like holding a physical copy of your music in your hands. Like I'm a photographer as well, and there's nothing like printing and holding a photo. You know, it's the same feeling I get from when I do music.
Like
And
that's your physical stuff
yeah,
right
well,
there.
and it was lost for a long time because everything, I mean, still everything's digital, but people are wanting to hold music in their hands these days. It's really come back, and I hope it never goes away. And you mentioned cassette tapes, and that takes me back to whenever I was
Mhm.
first recording. We recorded, you know, everything was on cassette, and we would go to Walmart at night, and we would high speed dub all of our albums and go play a show on because they used to have stereo set up inside Walmart. You know, we'd be in there at 2 a.m. making copies of our album to
Back
sell
when
at the
Walmart
show.
was 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what we did. And you know, there's always some way that people find to get their stuff out there. And man, you've got the enthusiasm and the know-how to get people to watch, and I think that's great.
I mean, like, well, I definitely got to shout out our label that we're on. We're on a small label based out of Philly called Fameless Records. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of them. But I mean, like, they're printing our CDs, tapes, and vinyls for you know they're doing it for us. So we're not we don't have to pay a dime out of our pockets, and I'm really grateful for that. You know, because I mean, if it wasn't for them, like we wouldn't have this stuff out. You know, like I mean, they have a website, you know, set up that like we dropped when we announced the album that you know people could just go to it and place pre-order links, you know, to order like vinyls and CDs and tapes, and it's just like you know I'm happy that people are able to place orders and get and have them shipped to them, you know, as opposed to just like going on Spotify and clicking like listen, you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot more personable. And I mean, we just sat down here last night because we have our record release show coming up on the same day that the album comes out, and we wrote little notes and we put them all in like the CDs, and we put stickers in there too, you know, just to show people how much we appreciate them for buying our stuff, you know.
That's
I
awesome.
love it. It's so nice to have a good label behind you. I mean, big or small. And you know, honestly, these smaller labels, you know, there's less. I feel like there may be less trouble, you know, because they're more excited and they can focus more on certain bands instead of having, you know, tons of bands they have to take care of. And you know, I'm on a small
Yeah.
record label and absolutely love it.
I mean, it's cool to have that sort of backing behind your band at
Yeah,
the end of
for
the day,
sure,
like straight up. So
for sure. I love it so much.
All right, I gotta take a couple steps back here, Scott, if that's okay.
take a step back.
I'm a huge gear nerd. I know Matt's not as nerdy as I am, but
Yeah, I use
uh,
old stuff that I just fix with tape and never buy anything new. So yeah.
I'm with you, Matt. I'm with you on that.
I got I so vintage. You said vintage Slingerland, right?
Yeah.
What are you using for a snare?
I have a Gretsch. I don't. I'm blanking on like the exact make.
Right,
I mean, but my gear is nothing crazy. Like my two main crashes are like two 18-inch Wuhans that I ordered off of
dude. Those are
Zounds.
great, man.
They are great. They
They're
sound
good for
so
what they.
great.
Yeah, I think that sometimes that gets a little carried away. And then I did want to ask, man. I a lot of drummers always pull their floor toms so you can see their feet, right, when they record their videos. Um, but you can never see yours. Like sometimes I can see the beater flying. Do you play heel up, heel down? Like what's your foot technique?
I play heel up. I'm using like the you know like this part of my foot, this part
Yep.
right here. And
The
I
ball
don't
of
know,
your
I
foot.
definitely want to learn more techniques, you know, because I see people doing this crazy like fast stuff with like you know, they're like heel and then, you know, like it's just I don't know. I do know what you mean though, like with how people pull their floor toms. It's just like if I pull my floor tom, then like it's gonna be like all the way over there, and then like
Right.
doing the fast fills, like I
Oh no,
it's
I don't think you should. I like what you're doing, man. I like that you're serving the song a little bit more. I just didn't know like I've always played with my heel up a little bit and more of like a forward motion stomp, and like sometimes I'll slide a little bit to get some like extra notes out of it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was watching a couple of videos and I was like, I wonder what he's doing with his feet. Are you a rudiment guy?
No, no, man. I mean, I'll definitely like I will just sit in my room and just keep my practice pad and just like practice my singles like to just keep up that like my technique with my right hand, but I was never really too into the rudiments.
Yeah.
But now that you mention it, I would like to maybe do like a foot cam like one day, you know.
I was about to suggest that. Yeah, people love that stuff. Yeah, I
They do
talk
like that stuff.
talk about that style. I mean, it's not a new thing, but it's not something a lot of drummers do. A lot of drummers like me, I'll play with my wrist, you know.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you're so efficient playing like this. And I mean, I assume that's just really hard to do, and that's why people don't do it.
I don't know, man. It's just like, I was, I've been playing, in like bands for a while now, and like we were still like trying to play the same stuff that we're playing now, like 3 years ago, and like, I mean, it wasn't that long of a time ago, but this was a point where I still would like just like completely like muscle it out, like with my arm and my wrist, and like I don't know, it was hurting me, and I knew it wasn't good for my body, like especially thinking like this is what I want to do with my life, I want to be able to play at a high level for many years and be able to play sets every night and not kill myself. And so I figured I need to learn proper technique. You know, at the end of the day, it was just the bottom line. And I sat down and I watched Marky Ramone, his technique, and I just for a year, like I just would practice in my room on my practice bed, and it was hard, man. Like it's hard. Like I have people message me, on my page asking me how the hell do you do that finger thing on like the hi hats and like the ride, and it's just all I literally can say to these people is that you just need to practice. I mean, and it stinks too because like when you're doing that technique, obviously you're hitting the top of the cymbal. So as opposed to getting that big sound, like you're just gonna get the little like tin 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 tin, and you could still hear it. You could
Mhm.
still hear it. Obviously, it depends on if your drums are mic'd up or not. Like a band like the Descendants, like Bill does that, but his drums are mic'd up. You could hear everything he does
Right.
you know and people ask me like is there any way that you can get like a fuller sound, and I'll just say like dude, with this certain technique you're not going to be able to do that. You're hitting the top of the cymbals. I mean, it doesn't matter too much on the ride cymbal,
Hmm.
because it's just the ride.
Right.
But when you bring it along to the hi-hats, as opposed to hitting them from the side and using
Right.
your arm and your wrist, you got to go like this on the top. But I mean, it makes playing that sort of fast style of music so much easier. Like, and it's gotten easier for me. I mean, I'm not gonna say here and sit here and say that I'm 100% so confident with that because I'm still trying to become better every day.
Yeah, and you're
You
probably an
know?
engineer's dream whenever it comes to recording you because there's not a lot of, sloshing of hi-hats and
No.
ride and all these overtones and all this stuff. You're very precise, and I feel like that would work really well mic'd up and easy to mix for somebody the way you play.
Well, I'm happy that you feel that way. I mean, I'm sure that makes, engineers' jobs, like you said, a lot easier. I mean, especially on this record that we got coming out. It's our best sounding stuff. Like I said, we went into the studio and we wrote these songs with the intent of recording them, and have a professional sounding record, and just trying to get this thing heard by as many people as possible. And this record. Definitely got like not just my best drum sound, but I mean like the tones on the guitars are great. I mean the vocals are so crisp and clear. It's like a real recording, as opposed to some of the stuff that you probably heard that we have out that we recorded in our damn basement. Like
Sounds
it's
good for a basement though, man. It wasn't
yeah, yeah, and I'm not gonna take away from that stuff, because I mean I love our old songs, but it's just like this is a new era for the band. These songs, and I could sit here talking to you guys all day about how great these songs are. You guys don't know, you haven't heard them yourself, but when they come out, and if you guys got time to listen to it,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
definitely think you guys will like it, and there'll be some tracks that you guys, continue to play. At least I hope, and I got my fingers crossed.
Oh, for sure.
Did you guys record to clicks or
No, no,
no? Yes,
it
thank you.
was live,
Yeah, I
completely live.
wanted to ask you about your studio experience. Was that your first real studio experience?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Um, like the other recordings that we did, we were either, like I said, in like someone's basement, or it wasn't a studio at the end of the day. And I'll be totally frank with you guys. This album that we have coming out, we recorded it in someone's basement, but like they had like they have a studio like in their basement. It was
Sure.
like legit.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a basement.
Yeah.
So how did you were you tracking the drums with the guitars like coming through headphones and then doing it
Yeah,
all
yeah.
at okay, okay.
I mean, what we did, we just set, we set the guitar amps, the bass amps and the drums up in one room, and we recorded live because, I mean, obviously, the talk about doing things track by track did come up, but it's just like we want the energy to be high. We want that live feeling record, like let's like say a Descendants record. I keep going back to them, but I mean, they're always the prime example
They're the
of,
gold standard.
yeah, yeah, it's truly so. I mean, at the end of the day, like that's what we were trying to emulate, and I think we did a damn good job at that.
So one thing I learned when I was young, when I used to record live too with my band, and when you bring friends into the studio while you're recording a song, it makes it even more energetic, and that it gives it that life. It's so weird. It's like playing a show, It's like you're completely different at home than you are playing in front of, doesn't matter if it's five people or what. There's
Nah, you're
that
exactly right about
energy
that.
comes out of you, and it's like you feed off of people, and it's just so cool. And so if you ever record live again, bring some people in, even if it's a certain song. Like, I really want this song to feel like a live song. Just bring people in, and it'll magically transform you.
That's great. See, I have a funny story that I remember learning from Lucky Lair of the Circle Jerks. If I'm remembering correctly, they were recording Group Sex and they were recording Red Tape, and like Lucky was having a hard time doing that song, obviously because it's one of the craziest hardcore punk tracks, But then apparently, I think like girls went into the studio, or like like somebody came in and he was able to get that crazy track off after that. So I definitely will maybe next for the next album. The next album.
Keep it in mind.
Dude, we had I remember we did our first thing live too with my old band and it was funny as I'd only been in it for a week at that point. So like all the lyrics were just like I was kind of making them up as I go, but we did this one song and I thought we played it like perfectly and our buddy Teddy recording was like, "Gotta do it again." So we did it again. It's like less than 2 minutes. So we keep doing it and we're like, "What like what's the problem?" And he goes, "You're ending it like it's not getting faster as you're playing it." So like he was bummed that we were ending on the same BPM that we started. And he was always the dude that like he put that in my brain that like if you're in a punk rock band and you end on the same BPM as you started on, you're not doing
Hey,
it
hey,
right.
hey!
Like
Isn't that what we want?
it's gotta get a little faster towards the end. Nothing crazy, but like, you know, I understand now too that like how lucky we are to like the three of us could start a band together. I could record a guitar part, send it to you. Matt can do vocal. Like it's a cool time that we're living in, but it gets hard to do that stuff without a click track. So I think that like obviously if you're playing in a band with like Matt, like all you guys are in different areas, so you need that. Like you can't
Right.
do a drum track without clicks, send it to somebody, and then expect them to just be able to play. But
Yeah.
I do miss a little bit of like a just a raw, I don't know, a raw energy to stuff. But I think it's awesome that you guys are kind of bringing that back. And I'm looking forward to hearing it, man. I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't wait
man.
to
I
hear it.
mean, we got a couple more days, but we're patient individuals. I could see maybe you guys a bit more than me, but
Yeah, make
Nah,
sure you post that on the drummers group too.
yeah, yeah. I'm totally. I mean, we're gonna do big Gonzo marketing campaign for this thing, So you'll definitely see it elsewhere.
is it ever weird for you to go to like the punk rock drummers Facebook page and see people like posting your videos on there, or have you not seen that yet? Or
Well, the reason I joined that punk rock drummers chat was because my brother's way more Facebook savvy than me. And he like, he found the page and he was saying how like apparently people were talking about me or posting like a video or something. So that's when I was like, you know what, maybe I should join. If there are people in there that like have seen my stuff before, maybe it could be beneficial if I join and post some videos of my own, And I honestly, I don't think I've posted in that chat for like a week or two at this point. Like, think I've just gotten a little bit busy, but I mean, I posted a couple of videos and I had a lot of people that were like, like commenting awesome stuff, and like people seem to really dig my stuff on there, and I was grateful for that.
Yeah. So definitely
For
it's
sure.
cool. What Matt, what you started, man, it's a nice like positive, which is nice. It seems like everyone's trying to kind of be uplifting and yeah, it's not like
Yeah, I saw Matt had commented. I mean, aren't you're like the owner of the page, right?
Well, I started it back last April and nothing happened. It just sat there. And then all of a sudden that bass players group started, Eric Butal, who started the bass players group, it started getting crazy. And then I think I may have cross posted the drummers group to it. And then all of a sudden in December it just like blew up.
It blew up.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was like, all these great drummers are joining, like all these,
Like, who
heroes
are
of
these
mine.
great drummers joining?
And then people like you that, I didn't know about, and here we are doing an interview with you. And naturally, I'm going to start a punk rock drummers podcast to go along with it since we have a built-in audience. And, Christian and I talked about, don't just interview the big names. Like there's tons of people like you that are up and coming and are putting out really great stuff, and you need to be heard as well. So
And that's why you guys like it's awesome that like you created a platform like that, man. Like seriously, like I mean, I was really surprised when you guys when Christian, it was like we want to interview you for a podcast because I was like he was telling me about all the names like from all these crazy bands. I was like, who the hell am I? Like who am I? Why do
yeah,
you guys want me?
Christian has a good heart, and I give him all the credit for reaching out to you.
well, dude, but for real, I know it sounds like I'm trying to like gas up, but I think for people my age and older, it's awesome seeing someone in their early 20s who cares this much about that music, who's trying. I mean, I'm willing to bet that you are probably bringing this music to a lot of kids your age and younger that have never even heard of it before. And I think it's important. It's very important music, and I think that you're definitely doing your part, and making sure that it doesn't get lost or left behind.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so even outside of your skills as a drummer, I think the fact that like you just don't see it, man. You don't see people your age playing the kind of stuff that you're playing. And when you said Lucky was one of your influences, like you don't hear that. I'm just saying, but it's true. Like you really don't hear it. And I think that I think it's important, man. I think it's important to keep those bands going and
And
you know
spread the word, like you said. Like I mean, people sometimes text me like, "Hey, you're posting music I've never even heard before, but I love it." Like, and that's awesome how you could turn like people on to like this awesome music, and they'll listen to it and turn other people on, and it's
yep.
just the cycle continues.
Well, I think
Now
you're even influencing these older guys like Christian and me. I'm sitting there watching your video and I'm like, wonder if I can do that. I'm like, no, I can't. But it's something I want to try. It's something I want to get better at. And so you've actually influenced
Hey,
me to
man.
try to be more efficient when I play. So I
Yeah,
think
of
that's really
course.
great. Yeah. Sorry,
I mean,
Christian,
you
what were you saying? Oh.
no, I don't know what am I not saying. I'm always saying, well, what I was saying with that style because I grew up like watching Marquee and trying to emulate. I played band in a band for a couple of years. That was kind of in that genre, but it was like what I was saying is keeping that. It's hard to have it here, but keeping this like gap right here. I think a lot of dudes try to like lock the stick like right in this part of their hand and go like that. But if you can get that little gap, it helps so much with the speed. I mean, I'm better on it with my yeah, like I'm way better on my ride with it than I am the hats. But what I found with the hi hats is I had an old pair of I think they're from like the 70s, like 15-inch Zildjian new beats, and they're so heavy. That has helped when even playing just like Scott, like what you're saying, playing on the top of the cymbal, but they're
Mhm.
they're they're just so heavy that they kind of wash a little bit more. So if I'm playing stuff like that, I tend to use these hats more than like some lighter 14-inch ones that give you that more like
Yeah, that
meat.
sound like little like tin cans,
Yep,
right?
yep. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
dude.
cool though.
Um, yeah. Well, I think. What do you feel, man? You feel good? You feel like we've covered
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of
It's
stuff.
been about an hour, so
I feel
we
So,
don't want
good.
to take up
I
too much
feel
of your
good.
time.
well,
No,
let's
that's okay.
Matt, should we end it on how we ended it last time?
I like that. Do you have the questions?
Yes. So, Scott, we're gonna end this with a segment I call questions from my kids. Um, this
Okay.
this this one is from my 7-year-old. It's gonna take a lot of thought, so take your time. Um,
Okay.
um, do you own a sled?
Do I own a sled? I used to own a sled when I was like 12 years old.
Okay, okay. And then it's this is a repeat question. This is what she gave Darren from Teenage Bottle Rocket. But do you eat food?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do like food, man. I love food. I mean, who doesn't love
Food
food?
tastes good.
I mean,
Food does taste good.
these are the heavy hitters, man. We got to ask these questions. They're
Well,
so
I'm glad that we're getting this out into the world, because I'm
so
sure
important.
people were wondering.
Got to feel it somehow. So, well, awesome, dude. We'll let you get out of here, man. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for doing everything that you're doing for music, and we're looking forward to it. This will probably come out after the album's already come out. So, good luck with it, man. It sounds like you're gonna do some good things. We're looking forward to see what you got in the future for us.
I just want to say you guys are awesome. You guys are so nice. And thank you for asking me to be on this podcast. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, you know, I gave you some good stuff and,
Absolutely.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, and I can't wait to see your band play. So make sure you hit me up when you come through Texas. I'm really close to Dallas, so it's like a 30-minute drive maybe for me.
Yeah, man.
So,
I mean, there's still a couple of months, but
yeah.
once we finally announce the tour and things get a little bit more finalized, I'll send the flyer your way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks
But
for
I
talking
hope
with
you
us.
guys have a nice weekend, okay?
You
And
too.
I'll talk to you soon. You guys got my information contact if you need to reach me, okay?
Yeah, and happy
Yeah, bud.
Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
I will be having a nice Valentine's Day. Hope you guys do the same.
All
Yes, we
right, man.
will.
All right. As always, love you, nerds. See you later.
All right,
Love you
goodbye,
too,
guys.
nerd.
Later.
Bye.